This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Kingston Tree Commission meeting. Today is December 8th, 2020. My name is Suzanne Cahill. I am the Planning Director for the City of Kingston and the organizer for this virtual meeting. Before we begin our meeting, I would like to go over a few guidelines to help navigate the system as efficiently and respectfully as possible. We ask that any members of the public and press remain muted and off camera for the length of the meeting. As the organizer, I reserve the right to mute anyone who unmutes themselves. Commission members and city staff will control their own mute button. A good practice we ask is that you mute yourself if you are not speaking to avoid background noise and feedback. If a commission member or staff wishes to speak, they will raise their hand. As the organizer, I will call on them before they speak by stating their name clearly for our audio listeners. The commission member will then unmute themselves, state their name, and speak clearly, muting after finished. All meetings are recorded. Both video and written transcriptions will be made available to the public on the city's website at a later date. If you have any audio issues, send a text message to the following number, 845-443-0416. Please be aware that phone calls will not be answered during the meeting. The number to text is 845-443-0416. Thank you for your patience, and we will now begin our meeting at 3:38 p.m. And I'm just going to recognize then for the general public, the members that are present. We have Vince Archer.
Here.
Sarah Wank.
Here.
And Teddy Collins.
Here.
Okay. And Beth Weeks, are you here for 128?
No, that's me.
Oh, you're
so I can see you guys, but I can't talk through that computer. That's my daughter's name.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, so we're still going to wait a few minutes. I had sent around the additional information earlier today for 128 Newkirk Avenue. That was the one that we had been informed of by the mayor, and we notified of them that they took the tree down without authorization. So they responded by submitting the application, which I circulated, and I also asked them for additional supporting documentation, which they just gave to me this morning. And I don't know if you've gone through it, but their reasoning that they said that they needed to take the tree down, was that the roots were creating an issue of a problem in their sewer, and it was backing up. And so they've had to have the plumber come in and snake out their sewer lateral to the main to resolve that blockage on the street. They also said that the tree roots are causing damage to an adjacent retaining wall, which is a short retaining wall. Approximately, I would estimate it to be maybe about 1.5 feet for their front yard, as well as their sidewalks. So I circulated those photographs and to you and that invoice from the plumber. I also asked for additional information, and I received a second response that they are planning to have the stump fully removed, ground and removed, and that they do have a contractor ready to address the sidewalk and repair that with a concrete to match the sidewalk on both sides of where the tree was. It was like a blacktop material before. So that is all of the information I have on that one. She did say that she might be late. So if we want to just, if anyone has any comments or questions, maybe we can get those out of the way. I don't believe that there's any intention to replant another tree in this location. Nor is there really a whole lot of space for a substantial tree of the similar size and type that was taken down. Any thoughts?
Well, this is Tebby. Can
Yeah.
you hear me?
Yes.
I mean, clearly it looks like the tree was impacting the plumbing, and it was obviously very close to the house. And it was also looked like it was impacting the sidewalk and kind of in the way, actually, as you would walk down the sidewalk. So it seems like it's good that they took it out. It's hard to tell whether there'd be room to plant another tree. I thought maybe something smaller to the left. I don't know if there's room there or not, because it's still awfully close to the house.
I'm thinking, I can kind of see that corner, I think is where you're referring to, Tabby. If you look at the photograph where it shows looking down the street, you see the stump, and then you see the retaining wall, and then the retaining wall somewhat ends and goes back towards into the property. Are you talking about that
Right.
corner down there?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seemed like maybe they could put something there. Maybe if there's something smaller.
That looks pretty tight to me.
I think it's
Yeah,
They have
that's the thing.
They have a rhododendron tree or something there up along
Yeah.
the, so that would probably cause that to, if you planted a tree there, may not get enough sunlight.
I think she's talking, if you look at the last picture, Vince, where it shows the stump.
Right, but if you look, there's a rhododendron against the house.
Right, but
Yeah.
down, go further, follow the wall down.
That space doesn't look big enough, but
Well, what about having them plant a tree somewhere else? I mean,
maybe an ornamental tree.
if they
Right.
can't fit one there, then they could pay to put a tree somewhere else, but where somebody has room for one.
Right.
Because I think if you go to the,
For a woman on Green Street.
if you go to the next picture,
Well,
I think that shows the sidewalk going to a porch.
Yeah,
And that's the end of the space. But I don't know. I didn't
I
go over
wasn't
there.
clear where those other pictures were from. I didn't figure out how they kind of connected. Is that going up the side of the house?
if you go back to the original pictures that I sent you, I think that goes back to her in the original email that I circulated with her application.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, if you're looking at the one, you see the front of the house, and then you see the sidewalk going up. I can't imagine that these tree roots are impacting that sidewalk going up to that staircase. That's a really long stretch to
No,
do.
I think that's just
That's just wear and tear.
wear and tear,
Yeah,
heaving and stuff, freezing and thawing out, heaving the concrete.
yeah. I agree with you. That sidewalk is not a result of this. I can see the retaining wall and the sidewalk directly in front. But if you're looking at that picture, Vince, that I was just referring to, I'm talking about that corner by the corner of the house where the retaining wall ends and then goes kind of back up into the property.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at that small corner there. I don't know if that's large and a large enough space or even, but I don't know. It looks like there's a clean out for something right there coming out of the house where her other utilities are.
Yeah.
I mean, the other option is just to assess them the $250, which we have the ability to do.
And then we could plant a tree somewhere else.
Right. See, I mean, if we ask them to
Yeah,
plant,
I mean, I think you can give them the option, pay the fine or plant a tree.
my preference would be that it would be somewhere in close proximity. You know, I wouldn't want her to plant a tree in Uptown Kingston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, to make up for this tree. That doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Maybe a few feet off of the retaining wall may suffice. Looks like they
Yeah.
got enough space there. Kind of in line with the retaining wall.
Right.
To the left, you mean?
Yeah, looking at the stump is to the left of the stump.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I
'Cause-
was thinking. There, if we suggested a smaller tree.
Well, yeah, I would definitely go with something smaller. You can't, you know, putting another large tree in is just not going to be useful. I mean, I think they could definitely fit a smaller tree in there. And, you know, you remember anything within 20 feet of the curb, we can still consider a street tree. So it would still be considered, you know, of equal.
Mhm. Well, I guess the question is, are they willing to put a tree there? Well, maybe they don't want a tree because it would, I don't know, block their view. I don't know that there's much of a view, but if, like you say, if there's somewhere else on the street that a tree could be put in, we'd have to go look at the street. I mean,
I'd have to, yeah, I don't know the street that well. You'd also have to, if you were to put it in front of someone else's house, you'd have to understand you would need to get their permission. Because then
Right,
they
right,
would
right.
ultimately become the responsible party for it,
Right.
the way our law is written. So I don't want to just go planting a tree in front of somebody's house
Right.
without at least, you know, touching base with them. So, well, give it some thought. We'll give her a few more minutes to join.
Actually, I'll go take a look and see. I'll take a look at Newkirk Avenue and see, send you a note.
Okay. All right.
I'm not familiar with that street, so I don't know what's on the left. There's a house on the right-hand side of it, of the stump.
There's a house on the other side as well, on the left. Across the street is a vacant lot. And I think another house. If you look, okay, I sent 2 photographs. Look at the second photograph that I sent with the application, the Google map. It shows you a broader street view. So you can see the opposite side of the street there.
You just sent it,
The
or
open lot there.
did you just send it, or was that the other one?
No, it was with the original application, with the first.
Is it sort of in the corner under the picture? Under the photo?
There should have been 2 photos that I sent with the original application.
Yeah, I got those.
2 Google Maps. So the one Google map actually shows the street view, more of a street view, with a
Oh,
broader.
okay, I see what you're. Yes.
Right, and so it shows both sides of the street.
Mm-hmm.
And the tree that came down is the one on the left side, obviously.
Yeah, from the Google Map view, I don't know, that is an awfully small space to put a tree. and I don't know where their plumbing is,
Right,
but if this tree impacted the plumbing, even moving a tree over
right. It's going to
may do the same thing.
yeah.
So I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't feel confident looking at these pictures that putting in a tree there is a good idea. The more I look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight space. And even a small ornamental tree, you can never guarantee root propagation.
Right.
But I was gonna go take a look, and I'll take a couple of pictures and I'll send them out.
Okay.
Too bad we can't put a tree across the street in the middle of the lot.
I know. It's beautiful, isn't it? They put a couple in over there.
Yeah.
Well, we can do a couple of things. I'm just making some notes here. We could make a conditional decision that they grind the stump down to below grade, they cover and seed it, that they repair the sidewalk and the wall using concrete on the sidewalk, obtaining a sidewalk permit, and all, the typical, the protection of the sidewalk during the work and the insurance to the city, and then ask them to submit or remit the $250 penalty fee for doing this without approvals, or plant a tree on their yard if they can find a location in that front that they feel is adequate, a smaller tree, which I somewhat agree with Tebby that it is probably not, it's more problematic long-term given this situation and the size of the area. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think we should give them the option, but if they don't want to plant a tree, we should get the payment and do something else.
Vince, you probably want to look at it first though, right?
Yes, I'd like to take a look at it.
Okay, all right. Well, what if we made that contingent on Vince's inspection and circulation of materials, and then we can all concur? Or if we disagree, we want to change it, we'll have to come back next month with it.
Okay.
Well, I think Sarah made a good point. Let them make the choice,
I agree, yeah,
and we'll base it on her response.
okay,
But I'll still take a look at the tree. I mean, the location,
okay.
just to see if anything's feasible there.
Someone want to make that a motion, please?
Almost.
Okay, I'll second Vince's motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, that's all I had, other than, just to let you know, I was talking with Sarah before the meeting started a little bit. There is another property on, they actually live on Hoffman Street. It's a corner lot, Hoffman and Mary's Avenue, where 3 trees were just removed recently. And so I've been in contact with that property owner, and I have sent them the letter telling them that they did the work, unauthorized. I've explained to them verbally over the phone the code and what the protocol was, and they are planning to replant 3 trees, but they still need to come through the process. So they'll most likely be back with us in January.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all I have.
Tebby here again. I was wondering whether we want to set up a time. We were talking about all this granting information, and do we want to set up a time to think about some kind of discussing a plan in case we want to do grants in the future, or identifying locations?
Yeah, I like that idea. I think we shouldn't, get a grant and it's like the deadline's in 3 weeks. We should kind of have things in the pipeline that we're ready to
Right.
put forward. So I'm happy to do that, like if online or, how, whatever is the best way to do it.
Okay. I think we'd like to participate. I just know that our time is very tight between now and the end of the year with the holidays and other meetings that we've got going on through our office, and scheduled vacations, whatnot. I think if we thought about that in the new year, I think that's an excellent project to work on, so that we do have the basis or the framework of a project, and when funding, we could actually give that to the grants administrator and she could look for funding that would fit that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I think it's fine. I think waiting till January is not a problem.
Yeah.
I agree.
Between now and then.
By then, I should have a new computer.
Well, I would hope so.
That
But
Well, it's on order, but I just haven't gotten it yet.
okay. We just had another caller join us. Can you identify yourself?
Yeah, this is Cree Quaker. I tried the link that Sue sent, and it kept saying invalid, so I just dialed in.
Okay. Hi, Cree. Okay, we just actually got finished. I didn't know if you were going to make it or not. We did hold off.
Okay.
So what the commission looked at, all of the materials that I had originally sent them and what you had sent just today. I also explained, that you were intending to grind the stump and repair the sidewalk. So what the outcome was that they would approve it with the conditions that the stump get ground below grade, it get covered and seeded, and the sidewalk would be repaired with a concrete. You'll get a permit from the DPW and insurance. I'll send this all to you. Insurance,
Thank you.
claiming the city is additionally insured. They also, and also the retaining wall repair.
Yeah.
And then they're giving you the option, if you'd like to plant another tree, something obviously much smaller, not at the immediate area, but more in the yard. You can plant anything 20 feet in from the curb and it's considered a street tree. So what we were thinking about was maybe on like closer to where the steps come down, there seems to be an opening there, or towards the end on the corner where the retaining wall ends and kind of pitches back onto the property. A smaller, more ornamental type tree might be nicer there.
I can do that.
You like that option? Because we were, our one commission member, Vince Archer, is going to go take a ride down and actually look at it and just confirm that we think that it's sufficient area to do that. And if you're in agreement with that, we can, work with you to choose an ornamental or appropriately sized tree. The one that we did have was just to make sure that we don't find ourselves in the same situation where you're planting it and there's potential in years down the road for the root system to deal with other, your other utility connections. So we'd want to definitely know where they are located.
Okay. No, that sounds perfect. I can do that.
Okay, that sounds good. Everybody okay with that then?
Yep, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. So then what we will do is I'll wait to hear from Vince, and Vince will share his findings with us, and then I'll be in touch with you, Cree, and we'll figure out location and tree species, and we'll get you moving along.
Okay. And in terms of the stump grinding, should I have Keith set things up? He just needs the existing concrete broken up, which I can have done, but I should have both contractors name the city on their insurance.
Yes, I can send you, actually I'll email you all this decision, And it will have all of that right in there. And how you put that together with your contractors, typically in this kind of situation, the contractor would do it on their policy. And it's just a
Okay.
one-time, one location type of add-on that they do.
Okay, and then I just send a copy of that or have them send a copy of that to you?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, very
Okay,
good.
wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks for calling in, Cree. I'm sorry about that link. I don't know what the problem was, but
No, and it could be my phone. I didn't charge my computer. I try to get my kids settled before they harass me on the call.
okay. 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 So if there is no more business,
I had just two really quick things. I have some pictures. I keep forgetting to send them. I went over to Green Street and took some pictures of those 3 trees.
Right.
And I'll send those around to everyone just as a record. The other thing I just noticed today, and I didn't stop because I was running late, but there was some tree right around the corner from me on Johnston, just off Main. They were cutting down 2 big trees that were fairly close to the house. But if they're within 20 feet, they are considered city trees?
if they've been before our ordinance and they're 20 feet, no, they're considered private property.
Okay. These were gigantic trees. I couldn't
They
tell
have to
what
be
kind of.
before our street tree.
Okay.
We allow people to plant the 20 feet in because gives us a little playing room when you're talking about overhead wires and things like that. So it allows us to finagle a little better, and it's better for the tree in the long run.
Okay, just wanted to check. But
Okay.
I'll send those pictures around, which,
Yeah.
hopefully someday we'll be able to have a chat with Central Hudson about their,
Yeah.
who knows? I think it's good to have a record before they come down, so.
Yep. I agree.
That's
Thank
it
you.
for me.
Okay. Very good. Everybody have a wonderful holiday. Be safe. And we will see you in the new year.
All right, take care.
All right. You as
Bye.
well. Stay safe. Bye.